Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share my full review, the digitally digested segment for the Sony 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 G Master Mark II. Now this lens retails for $2,800 US. I'll include a link in the description, and I'll start off the video by saying this thing is a beast. Just like the A7 IV that it's mounted on, that I've been testing it on, whether you're shooting still or video, it is really impressive. Now for those of you that ask, why wouldn't I just save the money and go with the first gen f2.8 70 to 200 G Master? Well, you can. I'm not here to persuade you, but real world, this thing has been improved. I would say most importantly, not just the on-body improvements with finite control changes, or even the lens hood not being a pedal design anymore. I think that just the autofocus prowess of this lens is enough to justify making the purchase. And since many of you, I think especially wedding photographers, videographers, this is going to be your weapon of choice, because it literally, I mean, that's what the 70 to 200 I think is ideal for, among many other things, but specifically that sort of hybrid capacity of knowing you're going to get excellent quality on both ends is exactly what this is designed to do. And while the price tag seems high, I think that from a performance standpoint, it is just impossible to really pick a piece of glass that is going to outperform it. And I do think that it outperforms the previous generation by enough overall, between the fact that it's lighter, sharper, and of course, most importantly, faster. Again, the four times claim on the autofocus by Sony, I was hesitant to believe it, but after shooting with this, I mean, I've yet to test a piece of glass from Sony that is as fast. In fact, one of the areas that it really shines is with my 2x teleconverter, which I recently did an unboxing of, even though I reviewed it a while back. It is a marriage of just bliss here, which you don't hear often in general. It really is. Teleconverters can only do so much. That's an old product that Sony put out. When it first launched, it had very little compatibility. But now, with a lens like this that is as fast, sharp, and accurate as it is out of the box, it really complements the teleconverter very well. I mean, I thought the teleconverter was great with my 1 to 400 G Master and the 2 to 600 G series that you see over there, but you mildly see. But with this lens, it is a star. So I feel like for a lot of people out there, this really takes on a whole new life once you throw the teleconverter into the mix, because it really assumes a telephoto identity that it does not have out of the box. I mean, this gives you prime-like performance with autofocus capability that just doesn't exist. And then weather sealing's been revamped. Again, I didn't get it wet. Again, a recap just on those lens controls, the iris lock. So if you're shooting video and you're adjusting your range, you don't have to worry that you will accidentally, throw the aperture off. 3 different modes of stabilization on the switch right there. Then you've got your stabilization switch, your range of your focus, full or infinity to 3 meters. Of course, the full-time DMF on or off, which I think is incredibly convenient. And then, last but not least, the autofocus switch itself. Your customizable hold buttons here, which are nothing new, but it's just, for me, all of these things amount to a phenomenal tool. And then the fact that it's lighter, I've got back problems. If you're watching my camera reviews, you're going to hear about it more and more because they've gotten worse and worse. So I appreciate something like this. Even if we are getting mildly heavy for me, I have much heavier lenses already that I presently shoot with. So this is really appealing to be able to throw that teleconverter on, and then all of a sudden I've got a solution that is going to give me better still and video capability than anything else in my arsenal. So it does make me wonder, would I want to part ways with, for example, the 1 to 400 G Master and pick up one of these for what will amount to a little under $1,000 probably out of pocket, to ultimately have a 70 to 200 that is not just the best 70 to 200 on the market, but one of the best lenses on the market, period. I think for just about any type of, assignment, hobby, shooting, whatever it may be, this thing just produces amazing stills. And I am kind of in love with it. I'm trying to control myself because I really don't need to spend more money on gear right now. Another thing that's nice is on the lens hood. I said they did away with the pedal design. Of course, you also have access to your filters. I mean, this is nothing groundbreaking, but worth mentioning. It's just improved upon in every way. So I think this is going to appeal to a lot of users, both pro and non, who just are looking for something better than what they already own, that's going to change how and what they shoot in terms of quality. And that's exactly what the 70-200 GM Mark II has to offer. Again, stellar with the A7 IV. I also tested it on my A7R IV. Now, the benefit of the autofocus speed isn't as obvious on the R4 as it is on the A7 IV. Same applies going all the way back to my I was going to call it decrepit, but it's not decrepit. It's nearly like new, my A7R2. That rhymed. But I just think this is a lens you cannot go wrong with. In fact, this pairing right here is pretty amazing, but I'm not going to run around telling all of you to get the A7 IV and then buy a lens that's more expensive than it as your first purchase. I think this is better suited for the A1 personally. I don't have it on hand to test. I'd love to. I didn't test it with my FX3, which is a pairing I think a lot of you will love to use, but just the performance I saw out of these two primarily, A7 IV and A7R IV, is enough to tell what you really need to know, which is that this is beautiful, not just for stills, but for video. And that's why I think it's ideal for the FX6, the FX9. This is really a video lens, if not more so than a still lens, in my opinion. If I had an application for it, you better believe I'd pick it up right now. Granted, it's still out of stock, but shipments are still coming. So I'm going to have to think long and hard about whether or not I'd want to give up one of my other telephoto options in order to grab one of these, because it really is that good. So I don't think anyone will have regrets about picking one of these up. You might have a little sting from that $3,000 after tax nearly price, but otherwise I think it's very hard to come up with any solution that's going to be better than what the 70-200 GM Mark II has to offer. Just a quick roundup review on arguably one of the best lenses Sony has ever made, especially because of that autofocus capability. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them, hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.